drove all the way in vehicles that were altered so that they could drive from East Hampton and Southampton. And Colin Trowbridge, Ira Bunn, John Rivera, and Angie Gerardo. And what we're doing here is a very important part of the budget process. So thank you for joining us, coming down and seeing what it's all about. We have Senator Seward next to me, and Senator Robach, Senator Funke, and our alternate is Senator Joe Griffo. And doesn't look like Toby's.
Toby's been replaced.
You're very perceptive.
Is Senator Kevin Parker. Do you want to introduce your?
Thank you, Senator. We have on our side from the Assembly members Colton, Paulin, Moya, and we have our members from the minority side, Mr. Barclay and Mr. Finch, who actually has now been able to take a seat up on the dais. Good. It was a good move. It was a very good move.
The agencies, just to be repetitive, that we're addressing is the State University of New York, City University of New York, the Higher Education Services Corporation, and the State Education Department's Office of Higher Education and Office of the Professions, and also the Council on the Arts, and our secretary is Ann Eisenhut. Good.
Start with the table target.
Sure.
We have a table target of 60 million. Those of you who were here last year will notice that is a cut. But we hope through further discussions, perhaps we can generate a little more appropriate resources for investing in our human capital in the state of New York. We have the Assembly proposal in which we have provided some additional funding continue as priorities for the Assembly, and those include the Opportunity Program, state support for both SUNY and CUNY, the SUNY and CUNY community colleges, our SUNY hospitals, which are crucial to our communities, the SUNY and CUNY child care centers, the Foster Youth Initiative, and certainly the DREAM Act, as well as several crucial initiatives like support for the expansion of my brother's keeper. And while capital is critical, it frequently, or most usually, has been dealt with at the General Conference Committee level, which is appropriate. But we want to reiterate that the needs for capital in both the SUNY and CUNY system is substantial. I know there has been some discussion from the executive about cost savings on administrative level and services at the City University, and I would just simply say that it is an extremely efficient administrative operation, since it is centralized and has but a single purchasing unit, human resource unit, and so forth. So we will be interested in seeing what is suggested there. But I believe that we will be working with our Senate counterparts very closely over the next few days to try to figure out, one, how to make this a bigger target, and two, how to work through this considering the substantial needs that both houses have.
Thank you. I thought I had to check my calendar because I thought it was April 1 today. And then I realized that the 60 million target table was high next to health, that was 25 million. It is obvious from the remarks that both of us are making is that last year we had a target table of 90 million. I think both committees and both houses have worked really very, very hard over the course of the year to stake out what we wanted to do in higher education. Our house talked for the whole year leading up to this budget about college university affordability and everything that we did, and we laid this out the last time we were in this room. So our conference priorities are tuition freeze and the rest of the SUNY 2020 program. We created a maintenance of effort investment fund to make sure we didn't have to increase tuition. And then a centerpiece in the college affordability was a enriched TAP program that would certainly help those that are struggling at the low end of the income level to middle income students to really give them help. And lastly, and it's the gateway to higher education, is our community college base aid. And we have always tried to help our community colleges because it's the first opportunity for our students and students that live in our community. So I think you heard right out of the box that Assembly Member Glick and I think we speak on behalf of our colleagues here at the table, will, if need be, get on bended knees and say 60 million just doesn't begin to scratch what we need to do.
I think that obviously, as everyone who's been through this knows, we are going to adjourn until there is a call. In the interim, obviously, the senator and I are going to go upstairs and get our tin cups. And then we're going to also have conversations about where we could possibly fit things into this table target, although clearly it's insufficient. So,
Kevin, did you want to speak? Yes. Senator Parker?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just on behalf of the Democratic Conference of the State Senate, one, let me just thank the members of the conference committee for bringing us together. I certainly want to agree with Chairman Laval in that the amount of money that's given to this table is not nearly enough to deal with this very, very large and important issue area. Higher education, I think, for most of us is not simply a budget matter. It's not about spending. It's really about an investment. And certainly we want to see that investment both increased but also used in the best possible way, especially as we look at an economy where, in fact, education becomes more important, where we ought to be making at least 2 years of college as common as a high school diploma is currently right now. And especially as we look at where jobs are created over the next 10 to 15 years, full-time jobs at a living wage with benefits are going to be in areas that are going to require more and more education. So some of the things that I think that's in the budget, we certainly oppose, particularly the so-called cost shift that the governor has put into the budget for CUNY. This $485 million shifted to the city. We certainly object to it and certainly want to see something done with that. We certainly agree with the Senate majority in expanding the maintenance of effort provisions within the context of SUNY and CUNY 2020 language to support all of the institutions in the state. We certainly want to reject the CUNY funding shift and restore full funding to the senior colleges, as well as uncouple the $240 million appropriation for CUNY contract costs from that funding shift. We think that those should be handled as separate issues, and certainly one shouldn't affect the other. We certainly stand united with the Dreamers and want to see the DREAM Act included in this conversation, as well as making sure that we both restore and increase money for HEOP, for SUNY and CUNY, including SEEK, ASAP, EOP, EOC, the Graduate Achievement Program, CUNY Leads, and other programs. They're all, we think, critically important for what we're doing. Just want to mention two other programs. One of the things that we've been advocating for is providing $5 million for a new graduate TAP program, as well as amend students' credit requirements for part-time TAP eligibility. We think that, especially as we've been pushing for and advocating for STEM and STEAM education, that when you look at those careers, that many of them are going to require graduate school, and also people, as we know in our state, oftentimes are working at the same time as they're trying to achieve their degrees. And so certainly expanding the pool for part-time TAP and making graduate TAP eligibility available in the state of New York, we think are critical to create the kind of well-educated and well-trained students for the kind of jobs that we're trying to attract into the state for our community. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to working with you to have a budget that reflects our values.
Thank you, Senator Parker, and that's it.
We're
Thank
adjourned.
you.